I'm proud to say is going on its 46th year last year. We just celebrated 45 years this summer. We had a big block party. It was a lot of fun. And we've been doing this for 45 years, and we've seen a lot of changes. When John spoke to me, he's like, let's talk about new shoes and let's talk about innovative shoes. It's like, oh, no problem. You know, I can talk about shoes all day long. But I think it's a great time because in the last year, so many new products have come on the stage. So what are we looking for now? Well, I know as physical therapists, you guys are looking for something above and beyond what the typical guy is wearing. And maybe you're seeing a lot of people because they've been wearing what the typical guy or typical woman has worn. You know, Under Armour, Skechers Go Walk, Nike Freeze, Nike Air Force One. Good grief, you know. All these shoes weren't made orthopedically correct, and you guys all know that. Unfortunately, the people buying them didn't realize that. You know, I've met people that say, oh, you know, all the kids on my daughter's soccer team are wearing these Nikes, and yet I bought a pair, and oh my God, my doctor's got me going to physical therapy for something he calls plantar fasciitis. What happened? Well, you know, we can beat up on plantar fasciitis all day long, but the reality is the shoes that are too flexible carrying people's fascias. You know, the flexibility that a woman had when she was 18 or 21 or 25. You'd sit down, you'd have your legs crossed, you'd spring up like a jack in a box. We lose the elasticity. So what happens when the shoe's not supported, when you're running up the stairs or you're just doing any daily activities? That elasticity is gone, and the fascia tears. And that's the reality of it. So let's talk about some of the shoes that help plantar fasciitis. We could talk about neuromas, you know, wide toe boxes. We're going to maybe touch upon this. I don't know how much time I have.
Till about 12:40. Yeah.
12:40. Oh my God, that's too much time.
You don't need that much time. Yeah.
Oh, you guys are gonna hate me then. All right. I don't know. I'm here in Shrewsbury, Greendale PT, and we'll have a little question and answer when it's over. Okay. The number one shoe in our store right now is not New Balance. It's not Brooks. It's not Asics. It's Hoka. And why is Hoka number one? Well, let's talk about Hokas really quick and how they can help your patients. Okay. And then we're talking, but it's not going to be a one brand show today. Okay. The Hoka is a great shoe for a lot of different reasons. Day in and day out, arthritic patients. You know, there's more bones in your foot than any other part of your body, and they're all working to balance you and keep you supportive. But some of that is a double-edged sword as time marches on. Arthritis attacks the foot and attacks all those joints. And the shoes that are so flexible or even marginally flexible, you know, mediocre shoes that someone thought was okay, you know, an entry-level Brooks, an entry-level Asics, an entry-level Saucony. It's like, why are these shoes good? It's like, because there's still way too much flex in them. And that flex affects the arthritic joint. And the more that foot moves, the more the arthritis gets flared up. Thank God I don't have arthritis in my feet. I do have it in my knees. I have it in my hands. And whenever, if it's a Saturday afternoon, if I'm working on an old car or something like that, and if it's particularly cold or damp out, oh my God, my hands are, you know, it's so painful. And it's hard to realize it when you don't have arthritis, but when you do have arthritis, it's a whole different, you know, ball of wax. And those same people are being told by their primaries, stay active, you know, movement is life. You know, I put that on a shirt years ago that I got from a physical therapist, and it's written in Italian, and it sounds so beautiful. And I can't pronounce it correctly, but movement is life. And how frustrating it is for a woman or a man that says, geez, you know, my doctor says I gotta get moving, but oh, my feet are killing me. I can't do it. You know, my wife walks, I can't walk, or vice versa. You know, well, you can walk, but you have to rethink it. And the simplest way to rethink it is getting a shoe that's good for arthritis. Okay, so that's why Hoka is a perfect shoe for the arthritic client. There's other reasons why Hoka is good. Okay, so if you feel this shoe, and I'm going to pass one of these around to you guys, and you guys can all flex it. And there you go. It's a lot of torque too. And the torsion on the shoe is great too for lower back. It's also good for even neck issues. So we want, for people that have trouble balancing, it's a nice supportive midsole, and it rolls. If you notice it, they'll have a natural roll off to the toe. So the physical, engineering of the foot isn't working as hard, and it's also helping you with stability. It's helping your lower back. It's helping your hip. And you can feel that torque. Okay. Now Hoka makes basically, I call them 4 hero shoes. Okay. Bondi, Clifton, great neutral support shoes. Okay. And then if you have someone that's a severe pronator, well, you can get them into a Gaviota or an Arahi. But either way, Hoka is addressing the adult that has, so many different issues to deal with, like we spoke about. Now, the neat, when we said this is a very exciting time, is Hoka is not only the #1 shoe in my store, but it's the #1 shoe pretty much across the United States. And its growth came when people were getting rocker shoes off the market. There was Skechers Go Walk. I don't know if anybody remembers them. They were supposed to firm up your butt and all this stuff. Well, they were sued, and they actually took the shoes back and actually wrote us checks for them, right? And Hoka came out and said, geez. And they said, no, this is different. If you take your time, you explain this to the customer, it has nothing to do with your glutes, but it does have a lot to do with all the stuff that we just talked about. Stability, motion control, and a nice firm outsole. So what has happened in the last few months? Well, there's new shoes that have come to market, okay? And so if someone doesn't like that big, bodacious look, Hoka is not your only solution. Asics has a shoe called the Nimbus. That's very much like a Hoka, and I'm going to pass this one around too. The Nimbus is also a nice solution. It's a little sleeker in the forefoot. Brooks just came out with this shoe last week. It's called the Brooks Ghost Max. Now everybody knows the Ghost. It's one of the most popular running shoes in America, but it still was way too flexible. So Brooks said, "Hey, what's Hoka doing? Well, let's make our version of it in the Ghost Max. Again, nice big outsole. I hate to call the Hoka ugly, but the Hoka is committed to that big outsole. So committed that maybe a lot of women will say, I feel great, but I'll never wear it. So there's Asics, and New Balance has a couple ideas that are coming up right now. I'm not as crazy about some of the New Balance, but they'll catch up, I'm sure. But so Brooks Ghost Max, again, strong, supportive, neutral shoe without quite the outsole flare. So and Asics is doing the same thing with the Nimbus. Now, there's one thing we have to talk about before we move on to other shoes. Okay, is another. A lot of times when doctors, send us people in for Hokas, they feel a funny sensation, and the sensation they feel is that the shoes are a little too low in the heel. They'll say, "Oh my God, I feel like I'm falling backwards," And unless you actually try them on, it's kind of true, because it's the offset is like 4 millimeter offset. So that means the heel to forefoot is only 4 millimeter. So it's almost pretty much flat shoe. And a petite woman that's been wearing heels or wedges all her life, and her muscle structure and her calf structure is designed, with more of a radical offset, say, oh, they don't feel as balanced as they should. Well, if you go into the Asics or the Brooks, you'll have some more conventional 6 millimeter offsets, that'll feel a little more comfortable to them. So, it's not just that solution for Hoka. There's ways we can fine tune it. Okay. And before we go into other shoes, and then we'll talk about other reasons that I brought these other shoes with me today, is let me talk about our store a little. When someone comes into our store, we measure everybody, and even if someone says, "Oh, don't measure me. I'm a 9. I've been a 9.5 all my life." Well, when's the last time I got measured? Oh, back in high school. I can't remember the last time I got measured. And that's the reality of people. And in a kind way, I'll just say, "Hey, do you mind if I measure again? I'll take a second, and I can just take a look." So we begin by measuring people's feet. We begin after we measure the feet, we want them to walk a little. We do a gait analysis, okay? And the gait analysis will tell us, okay, wow, you're supinated, and you want support. Well, you need support for a supinator. Support for supinator is a lot different than support for a pronator, and it's been a gas because in the last year or so, we've had so many customers have come in the store saying, "Geez, during the pandemic, I bought these shoes online. I hate them. I can't even walk with them." Well, you scratch your head. It's like, well, why do you send them back? Or why do you do this? Why do you do that? But that's another conversation. Because people it's difficult to do that, And but they go into let's say go onto the New Balance website. It's what's the right New Balance for you? Well, maybe the right shoe for you isn't the right New Balance for you. Maybe it's a Saucony, or maybe it's a Brooks, or maybe it's a Hoka, and they get, they'll read up on what New Balance is doing, or they'll read up and they're convinced that this, and then they don't really know what their foot type is all about. They don't know if they're pronators, they don't know if they're supinators, but New Balance has no problem just mailing out a shoe to someone, and I've, not to beat up on New Balance or Brooks or anybody, but I won't mention this, but I see some of the feedback that some of the companies send out in various emails, and I saw one, what's the right shoe for me? Or I saw one that came out, our top models on sale now. And I looked at it, it's like, it's not the top models that this company makes. But if you don't know this company, or you don't know shoes, like, wow, that shoe is one of their top models. It's 40% off. Like, oh my God, the shoe's like, nobody knows. I don't even sell it, But anyways, to get back to the customer in the store, we want you to feel assured that when that client of yours comes in our store, that they get measured. We have 5-6 people on staff, usually no more than 4 people all the time at the store. On the weekends, we have 5-6 people in the store, And people say, well, wow, my God, we have 3 people on, and this and that. And it's like, so we don't just hand people shoes in our store. We do what we say. We watch them walk. We measure their feet. We bring up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different shoes. We'll be with people for an hour before they get the right shoe. And we make sure of that. And our selection is second to none. Okay. But so that's one of the things that I'm deviating from in the shoe talk, just what we do at the store. So let's get back to shoes, okay? All right. So we talked about stiff shoes. We talked about shoes that have a lot of torque to them and a lot of support. All right. So that was our, the beginning of our talk, and I want to talk about things that you guys probably meet a lot of times. You meet people that have really wide feet, let's face it, I mean, some of these companies, literally, On Shoe Company makes 3 wides, Topo just started making wides last year, and they make like 2, Brooks will make some wides, some extra wides, but not in all their shoes. Saucony will make some wides, some extra wides, but not in their shoes. And width is a big problem. Okay, I'm sure you're meeting people that have neuromas. Okay, and neuromas is a common problem that you guys all know about. Shoes that just constantly are too narrow for people. And it's like, and you'll meet people and say, geez, I always wear a size 9, and the doctor says I gotta get to the store, get measured. These shoes don't fit me. I don't know why. It's like when you measure, it's like, well, you're in a wide. You're in an extra wide. You need, you need something a lot wider. And the reality is, a wide in one shoe is different than a wide in another shoe. So most of the wides that we try to bring in have high toe boxes, wider toe boxes, give the the foot, room to heal. The reality about neuroma is, and you guys know this, is like, it's not going to heal if you continually put your foot in a shoe that doesn't fit something. That microscopic scar tissue just keeps growing and growing and growing. If we were cavemen, you wouldn't have any. I don't think there was a single caveman that had neuroma. I don't know, but because the foot heals naturally, it's not being restricted. Okay, so what do we do when we see that someone has a wide foot? We carry, and I am sure of this, we have more wides than any other store. I mean, everything that we can buy in a wide, we buy in a wide. I don't care if it's an on or if it's naturally a Hoka or a Saucony. Everything, hiking shoes. If they make it in a wide, I buy it in a wide. I'm the buyer. I'll stand behind that all day long. If we don't bring anything in the store, if we can't bring it in a medium and a wide, okay. One of my favorite shoes is being taken off the market from New Balance, and I was really disappointed in it because I didn't know what I was going to send people for, particularly for neuromas. I love a nice neutral shoe, straight last. We'll talk about that in a minute. But and there's a Saucony that just came to my rescue. Okay, and this Saucony, I brought a woman's in size 8. This is an echelon. Okay, and it's got a nice wide outsole, but it's got a wide toe box. It's got a high toe box, and even if someone has any type of surgery on the foot, it's so wide and the area is so loose. It comes in wides and it comes in extra wides, and of course we do sell it in the extra wide. And so a roomy toe box means so much for a foot to heal, and particularly for neuromas. And neuromas take a while to get better, and there's no magic wand, for neuroma. But the reality is, if the foot does not have the room, and I don't think, as much as I like Brooks, even a Brooks double wide Ariel, which is a very supportive shoe, is not going to give someone as much room as this particular Saucony. And we'll sit down with people and say, hey, I want you to try, I know your doctor maybe mentioned Brooks Ariel, or your doctor may have mentioned, Brooks Beast or something, which is a tremendous reputation. I found by physically trying them on people say, geez, this one feels better. And that's what we're waiting to hear the customers say in the store. This one feels better, and you'll see, you'll read somebody's look on their face. You probably see it here as PTs. It's like, they'll look at you and say, yeah, how's that feel? I don't know. And it's like, was I really helping them? Or, are they really going to be happy? Are they going to leave and say, geez, I don't know if I bought the right shoe or and that means a lot to us. Okay, so that's just a Saucony. That's a new thing that Saucony came out with. This new echelon. It fits unbelievable. It's a great suggestion for a guy or a gal that needs an extra wide. Okay. Topo. Okay. Now a lot of Topo is a neat company, and this is something that's really grown incredibly in our store in the last year and a half. Topo's been formed. It's kind of a local company. It was started by a gentleman that worked for Vibram years ago. Remember the Vibram 5 fingers? You guys remember those? Okay. Well, yeah, they were like a sock. No, let me put it like this way. They were like a glove, They were like a glove, yeah. And your 5 digits were poking through, and like, and you had this great, feeling. And the company took off overnight. There's articles in the Boston Globe about how perfect they were for everyone. Well, you know that, and I know that there's not such shit as perfect shoe for everyone. But maybe for 25-year-old reporter, that loves to go to yoga, and it was just crazy. Anyway, so the company imploded naturally because there's no great shoe for everybody. And but one of the head designers was a guy by the name of Tony Post, hence the word Topo. Tony Post, yeah. And Tony's a local guy, and he just sold the company a few months ago. But Tony came up with not necessarily a glove for your feet, but maybe a mitten. Like so, it's like a mitten, you know. So, and you see that they're ergonomically designed, and I'm going to pass this out to you guys, and you can imagine, you know, how this shoe looks, and it's like, well, why aren't all shoes made like this? Well, you know, again, not that, you know, not maybe the most, even though it's anatomically correct, it has a funny look to it. It does, and a lot of people can't wrap their heads around it. Hence, stock knees that we talked about, other things. But the key thing, not only about the ergonomic design of the shoe, which is kind of funky, and they all have pretty much lower drops. Okay, and when you have that patient that you want them to be pretty low to the ground, when you have that patient that says, geez, you know, I love walking barefoot. Anytime I pick up my heels. Well, you know, this is that patient, you know, the Topo. It's also Ultra makes the same thing, same formula. That's another brand that we sell. But we've been just happy with Topo just because they ship so much faster. We're never out of stock. And a local company, local guy, Massachusetts guy, we like to support them, you know. And the shoe I have in right now is a 5mm drop, and that's about as high as they go. And then they have right down to 0 drop. But some people just like, oh, I love that feel. You know, my foot always feels good. My back feels good when I'm wearing nothing. And essentially, they are getting support from the earth itself, from the ground itself. You know, it's all these stupid, ridiculous midsoles that break down and throw people off. But those people that are happy barefoot, that have that structure, that calf structure, that they've always been a barefoot woman or barefoot guy, Topo is a great solution for them. You know, it's a great solution. Not a great solution with someone recovering from an Achilles injury or Achilles tendonitis, you know, because of the lower heel. We all know the Achilles is like a rubber band, you know, and every time you lift up that heel, you're taking pressure off that left rubber band, you know. And every now and then I've met people that say, geez, you know, I want to try Topo, you know, and you start talking to them, and that's what we do. We engage the client in the store. They go, oh, yeah, I have this problem, I have that problem. It's like, well, I think we should try something with a little high offset. So then you go into an 86 or a Brooks Adrenaline, something like that, classic offsets. And then we have the option of getting them a wide, you know, or an extra wide with a classic offset. But, you know, again, you know, there's a lot of stores that don't sell Topo, they don't sell Ultra. It's like, well, why don't you? Oh, there's not enough people. Well, I think there is enough people, and that's what we do. You know, I mean, I don't want people to say, geez, I went to Sneakerama, and, you know, I've been reading up about this particular Topo or that particular Brooks or this particular. So maybe we buy too many shoes. We probably do, you know, but at least, you know, people leave our store, and if they pick up a Runner's World magazine or they go online, it's like, yeah, I tried this shoe, I tried that shoe, I tried, you know, the next shoe. Okay. I know how we do for time.
About 15 more minutes.
15 more minutes. All right, guys. Okay. I'm just going to run a couple more classic shoe designs by you. Okay. Brooks Beast and Ariel is still growing strong. Okay. They did not, you know, change. Great support shoe, great lower back shoe. Someone just had pretty serious back operation. They can't move. They need help. I assure you, when they come to our store with a cane or a walker or something traumatic, you know, injury, we will sit down with them and we'll suggest the right shoe. And many times it is the Brooks Beast or Ariel. It's a running shoe. I mean, and I joke about it. I've never been in a race that I haven't been passed by guys, you know, and women wearing the Ariel, you know. It's that it is the most supported shoe in the market. And they have lightened it up a lot in the last year or two. It's still doing what Brooks always wants it to do, be the industry's most supportive shoe. And but it's supportive for the pronate. It's not supportive for the supernate. It's supportive for the pronate. Okay, and that's the funniest thing when you meet people that's, you know, read an article online, and you know, it is, you know, big guy, truck driver, something that rolls right over his shoes, major pronator. And it's like, oh, he told me these look good. And look, I'm rolling right over. It's like, well, because it supports on your arch, it just pushing over faster, right? But that's what they do. That's what a pronation control shoe does. When you get in the world's strongest pronation control shoe, in my opinion, the world's best engineered motion control shoe, that's what it's going to do. It's going to do what it's supposed to do. It's going to stop you from rolling in. Is it going to push out? Well, maybe, it might. I'll pass the shoe around too. But I think everybody probably knows the Beast on the area, but that is the premier shoe, It's so funny. I still see a lot of people wearing Nikes and thinking Nike's a solution. I kind of, frown away from Nikes. Unfortunately, the Nikes that you see on TV, you see professional athletes wear, they're designed for professional athletes. Many of them are not really duplicated, in the retail environment. And they have shoes for elite athletes, but then most of their money and time is almost reviving old things and old styles and old ideas. It's amazing. I was in a restaurant down the Cape this summer, and I went to the restroom, and there's a poster of Run DMC in it. And it's like, wow, these are the Nikes that they're still selling today and back in the day. So, so that's unfortunately why I didn't bring many Nikes with us. Okay, so let's talk about one or two more shoes that are new and exciting. Okay, is On Shoe Company. Now, On Shoe, I'm proud to say we're one of the first stores in the United States to sell On shoes. I bought On shoes when the sales rep territory was United States, from Maine to California, and they're doing some neat and unique stuff. Okay, a lot of technology, a lot of soft shoes, a lot of midsole. This is a shoe called a Cloud Surfer, which is one of their new shoes. A lot of these shoes are hip, young, nice look. They're designed for adults, and although it's trending younger and younger, their design is typically based on the open, almost these half circles. Okay, when they were first designed, they were designed as a shoe that not only moves vertically but horizontally. And think of your own self, the fatty tissue under your heel. It's just similar to the fatty tissue under your hand. And as the foot strikes, and I don't know if you can see this, but if the foot strikes, I'm going to use perhaps this On box as a good example. All right, the foot would strike and absorb shock, but your foot also has a forward momentum. So the fatty tissue under your foot absorbs shock, like a Nike Air or like a Brooks or like a New Balance foam. But yet this semicircle actually will move, and you'll see it move if you've seen any slow motion footage of On. On is probably one of the nicest, neatest up and coming brands out there. They do have a stability shoe called the On Flyer. So I guess On is a good alternative. Let's say if you meet a young high school kid that's always been wearing Nikes. Well, you know what? He's not going to buy Brooks, Ariel, or she's not going to buy an Ariel. He's not going to buy a Beast. Another high school kid is not going to be buying a Hoka. Although some girls decide to wear Hoka in high school, but I don't know. Okay. But On is an option for them because they'll literally leave my store if there's not a Nike. It's like, well, geez, it's like your PT wants you to have something that's more supportive. And it's like, oh, geez, Mom, I can't wear these shoes. The kids are going to make fun of it. Well, they can. On has been really, really hip company, a new company, and it's a great suggestion. I guarantee you, the engineering in the On will surpass any engineering in a Puma or a Nike, and Yeah, and I'll take that to the bank all day long. But it is hard. Oh my God, we have a couple great doctors that will send young athletes to our store, and they'll say, "Oh, we want you to get a topo." And it's like, there's no way a 16-year-old girl wants to wear this shoe around Algonquin High School. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Yeah. How do they feel, honey? They feel great, but I'm not going to buy them, Mom. It's like, and then you go get another topo. It's like, well, this is exactly what your doctor had. It's a good fit. It's like, well, we're not sure. It's like, oh my God. Then the mother and the daughter start fighting, and it's like, oh my, it's like, don't you want to get better? It's like, but I don't want to go there. It's like, don't you want to get better? Do you want to do what the doctor said? I don't care. I'm never going to wear them. Waste $100 and something. Like, anyway, so we talked about so many great shoes today. Let's talk a little about, at the end of the day, everybody knows UFOs now. UFOs are so popular, advertised on the Super Bowl and stuff like that. It's so comfortable. The big thing about the UFOs is they first started as a company that was recovered, and they would set up booths. And I was there from the beginning with UFOs too. They would set up booths after marathons, and they'd say, "Hey, try these shoes on." And because the rocker outsole like a Hoka, but when the foot presses down on it, when the weight goes down, the arch gets lifted. So it picks up the foot. So it'll actually literally pick up the foot. And so that, those metatarsals that have been beat on, for 20 something miles, all of a sudden get separated, and all of a sudden it's, wow, this does feel good. These are great. And this is something that you could recommend your patients to wear in their home. It's like, well, I don't wear my sneakers in the house. I won't wear my shoes in the house. It's like, well, what are you wearing in the house? Well, I put a pretty nice pair of slippers on. Let's say, nice pair of slippers. You get an UFO. You can use it to the beach. You can use it in the house. It'll support your foot. This is a UFO slide, okay? And we have the thong style too. It's so funny when the company Apache first came out. So all we did is sell thongs. In the last 2 years, everyone wants to flip-flops, and a lot of guys too, a lot of athletes, football players, baseball players. They were around the locker room. It's kind of a cool thing to do, and it's definitely much better than a typical slide from Adidas or something like that has no arch support at all. You see people after races just taking off their shoes, and they're so comfortable. They're so comfortable. So again, what that does when the foot pressure goes down, it literally picks up the midsole of the foot and separates the joints. I got 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes.
Yeah, and I'd love for you to go over your referral pad at some
Sure.
point. We can review where you're located, what's the best way for us to send you some business.
Sure, we'll talk about that. And again, but we're big believers in orthotics. Okay. Now, right down the road, there's a store. I won't mention any names. They're selling orthotics for well over $1,000, $1,600. You guys make custom orthotics, I know, which is great. So much better than what they'd spend $1,600, $1,500, and $1,400 for. If somebody is pressed for money, they want a great orthotic, we do Spanko, we do a Power Step. I mean, this is a foot. I don't know if you can see that on the, so something like this, that you put some simple arch support in the foot is the pull. You sell for around $39.99 or $40. They'll do so much better support in the foot. Okay. We always carry great socks at the store. We have little solutions for plantar fasciitis, like Moby balls and things like that. We have all that stuff at the store. The Moby balls are great, just a great solution to keep that fascia elastic at the end of the day when you're watching TV or maybe under a desk at work. Keep the elasticity there. These go for around $10. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Super, suggesting this. This is a patient recommendation form. Okay. And it's kind of a neat thing, and it needs to for a lot of different reasons, and we'll get into a couple different reasons. But if you look at first line, pronator, neutral, supinator, mild, moderate, severe. Okay, shoe type: running, walking, run, walk, other. sometimes other is important to write down. And people say, I never walked, but I like pickleball. Well, I don't want to sell them the soft polka or something if they're going to play pickleball with it, you know. Or you can write down in court or other, or check off other, or you can write pickleball in. Pickleball is so prevalent right now with so many people, right? Okay, a last shape. The curved last is great for supinators. Straight last is great for supinators that need a little more support. We can worry about a lot of that little stuff. Upper construction. Every now and then you meet someone that has maybe allergic reaction or skin condition. You know, you can fill that up: breathable upper, non-breathable upper. You know, midsole, and it also talks about widths and things like that. But you know what? All you have to essentially write is check off one or two things. Whatever you think is the most important. There's 3 lines at the bottom for notes. Patient just got over, you know, his 3rd knee operation, or we're trying to prevent an operation. And the reality is, years ago, physical therapy was for people to recover from operations. Now, an intelligent doctor says, okay, before we operate, I want you to go to Greendale PT. I want you to try these exercises before we go in there and replace that, you know, rotator cuff, which is a very painful operation. We talked about that a little earlier before the film was on. You know, these operations aren't always that easy. And these operations are always creating scar tissue. And scar tissue, we know now, is not the answer. Physical therapy is the true answer. You know, I love these doctors that say, let's just go in there, let's scope it out. We'll do a quick scope, you'll be fine. We'll realize that some of these knees that have had a quick scope aren't always that great after that quick scope. And as much as you can do, you can only do so much. If something wasn't, you know, just done just perfectly inside, you know. So anyways, if you fill this out, and I see a patient walk in the store, or one of my managers, my son works with me, Jackson, my co-manager Trevor. We have a girl, Barbara McManus, that works for me. I'm proud to say she's won 7 marathons. Not run 7 marathons, won 7 marathons. Barbara's there during the week. We have so many great people. We have another guy, Alex, that works for us. I just had breakfast with Alex. He's a 14-minute 5K guy, you know. I mean, some really good guys. But they're serious. We have a passion with what we do. And hopefully it all rolls down for me. I've been doing this for 45 years, and I love what I do, and I'm blessed. But anyways, so let's say a patient, you write the script down. I know immediately because I see them take this out of their wallet or their purse that they have in their hand. It's like, wow, this person's been told to come to Sneakerama. I make sure I poke my nose in. You know, I'll go over. It's like, okay, what are we doing, Jack? Okay, and I'll look through it. And I'll look at the shoe. And let's face it, I'm just in the store a lot, and it's not that I don't trust my staff, but whenever I see something from a doctor or a PT office, when I see this, it kind of raises a red flag that this person needs some TLC. So it's better than, you know, saying, here's a business card, go to Sneakerama, or Sneakerama's over there, you know, tell them. So many times people come in, it's like, I'm having trouble with my hip, and, you know, the PT told me to look for a shoe, a better shoe. She told me something, and I can't remember what and that happens all the time. Well, this will help me, you know, clarify what you guys want, you know. And if it's okay with you, I wanted to have November our Greendale Physical Therapy month, okay? And if you want to just put underneath, it'll say name of doctor or physical therapist. If you want to, you know, put your name, put your initials, and make sure you put Greendale under it. And whoever sends the most for the month of November will get a free pair of shoes in the store. Just come in and get any free shoe that you want, you know. And in the past, as we were joking, our past champion was Joe Magnus. And the last time we did this, you know, and then we did it a year or two before that. And I think Joe Magnus won that time too. And he's the reigning champion. But now that Joe's gone, you know,
1996.
yeah, I think so, maybe 96, but that opens up the whole field for you guys, you know, and I'd love to give out a great shoe. And I'll tell you what, we'll do second place, you know, $50 gifts to the store, then the third place, $25 gift. So, you know, if you say, hey, you know,
Sure.
yeah, but don't tell Joe, because he might come back because he loves sneakers. He was a sneaker freak. Oh my God! All right, this is all opened up. Don't tell Joe that we're doing it. Okay. All right. Now, if anybody has any questions, I hope I'm not. You know, you said 45 minutes. I looked at that time originally. I said, oh my God, how are we talking 45 minutes? Okay, we're located right down the street. You know, we're at 12 Lake Avenue, right between Regatta Deli and El Bacha. We have, I'm proud to say, we do so many fun things at the store too. We're very inclusive. Last night we did a run that had about 100 people, and it was a Halloween run. And we always do fun things. And you know, that's another thing. We do a walk run every Thursday night. It's great to get out there. We just finished Redemption Rock was doing a Couch to 5K. I know you guys have previously done a Couch to 5K. We had some people from Redemption Rock Brewery that will come to the store on Thursday nights doing a Couch to 5K. We can launch anything that you guys want to do at the store. I'd love to do it. I'd love to work closer with Greendale Physical Therapy, like we were just talking about so many great races that we used to do in the past. But the reality is times changes. People don't have a lot of time, you know, and Thursday night, it just gets you out of the house. What a beautiful night last night was. Wasn't it gorgeous? You know, we had 100 people. Some people were dressed up kooky, and some people just wanted to see other people dressed up kooky. I don't know what it is. I think we always have big nights at the store, and I thought we'd have a whole bunch of kooky people, and we just had like a medium amount of kooky people. I was a Tyrannosaurus Rex. My wife was a Velociraptor or something. I don't know what the hell she was, but. And we're all here. My son was Austin Powers. We had a lot of fun. We had another guy, Alex, the 14-minute 5K guy. He was Harry Potter or something like that. I don't know, but we have fun. We did s'mores night a couple weeks ago with Brook Shoe Company, and we do this all year long. And you know, just like we talked about, movement is life. And I got that from a physical therapist. I didn't get it from, you know, a history book, or I didn't get it. I got it from a physical therapist. And I think I'll have to make some more shirts up that say that movement is life. And that's what you bring back to people right here. You bring back movement. You know, you get the people that are discouraged. You get the people that are, you know, oh man, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can start walking again. I don't know if I can ever be the same person I was before. Well, you guys, that's what you guys do. Movement is life. And I'm a small part of it. You guys are definitely a bigger part than Sneakerama is when it comes to that, you know. And I hope you have that same passion when you're old like me, because I'm 63 and I've been doing this since I've been 17, and I love it, you know. Yeah. Any quick questions, you know? Yeah.
The people on the thing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, everyone. You know, this is wonderful for me to have this opportunity to speak to you. Yeah.
Steve, thank you so much.
Joe,
Yeah. Can we
John, thank you.
Can we get a picture with you, the celebrity with our entire team?
I'm simply Steve, and I'm at your service.
Look, guys, you mind doing a